I know you're a big advocate of things like self-improvement and stuff like that, as you've just touched on. I know you do your cold shower thing every January. I think you've done it the last 2 Januaries, haven't you? Like a cold shower challenge.
Yeah, so no, I did it. I did it a first one in August last year.
Oh, was it August?
Yeah. It was. I actually did it because I myself noticed that I was becoming like ill-disciplined, like I wasn't working as hard as I needed to be to achieve the things I wanted to do within online coaching. And so I actually read Jay Alderton's book, Meltdown, which I don't know if you've read it, but it's actually really good. Like I was kind of blown away. I didn't really have high expectations of the book, but it was quite short, so I was like, I can blast through it. And he literally said, like, I started doing cold showers to help with my discipline, and then I decided it'd be a good idea to share it with my followers and do a challenge with them. So I was like, right, well, I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, I used to see his content, which was like sea dips every morning, wasn't it? That he used to do on his Instagram lives. I did see all that stuff. I genuinely didn't know he had a book though.
Really? No, I think he's got two. I think he's technically.
Oh right.
I think he's technically a 2-time best-selling author. I don't know what categories or whatever, but
missed that one.
Yeah, but yeah. So first one was August, and then just finished one this January. So 9 days ago, it came to a close.
How did that go?
The challenge itself in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really good. From like a personal perspective, like it's just, I do my cold showers first thing in the morning. So I get out of bed, go to the loo, brush my teeth, and then I'm in the shower. Like it's within the first 5 minutes of waking up, I'm under freezing cold water. That won't sound appealing, and for a lot of people they'll be like, why on earth would you do that? Like I don't want to do that, and that's the exact reason why you should do it. Starting your day by doing something you don't want to do makes everything else you have to do in that day so much easier. So when I did it for the first time in August, it was crazy, like the difference I saw, like just my work ethic, and I think from a business perspective, like September, October were some of like my best months. I don't think my very best, but very, very close. And I don't think it's a coincidence that happened just after doing this challenge. And then this month, even though we've only just started, is going to be like my best month with online coaching, financially by a long way. And that's off the back of the challenge as well. So from a like personal development standpoint, it's great. For me as an online coach, from a business perspective, it's great. And I was also able to help, over 100 people. I think we had like 108 or so get involved in the challenge most recently. So it's super enjoyable, and you get to connect with people in a way that you can't really do through just normal social media. Like you're interacting with a group for a month, and you start to actually build like a relationship with people. So it's really, really valuable.
I imagine for those people that do join the challenge as well, it's kind of almost like a marketing thing for you as well, because they get to know a bit about you, how you work and stuff like that. And that's probably why this last month has been one of your best months, I guess, because I imagine quite a few of those people have seen how you work, see how you go about your business, and then want to work with you on a one-to-one coaching level as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, in order to buy from someone, you need to know, like, and trust them. And if you've got a month of me occupying some level, some sort of mental real estate, like that's so valuable from a marketing perspective. And, I always pride myself on just being, nice to everyone by default and being a good person. Yeah. And I don't do that because I expect to get a reward for it. It's just fulfilling for me to do that. But if you spend a month experiencing that from me, and then I turn around and say to you, I have some coaching spaces open, like, would you be interested? You already feel like you know me, and you have a good sort of perception of who I am as a person. So I guess, you're going to be more likely to be interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to be more inclined to sort of take up that offer. So do you do the cold shower every single day, or was it just for August and January, or have you done it in between as well, or is that just the challenges that were August and January?
No. So it was the challenges that were August and January, but I did keep it going afterwards.
Kept it going.
Yeah, because it was just that benefit from a work ethic perspective. I was like, I don't want to lose that. And certainly towards the end of last year, I wasn't as consistent, which was another benefit of doing the January challenge. Like, I was planning on doing that anyway, but it was just good for me as well, because I'd sort of started to let that slip and maybe didn't do the weekends, or let the odd one go because I snooze my alarm or something. So
yeah, I guess having 108 people signed up as well keeps you a bit more accountable to do it yourself.
100%. It'd be a bit rough if I'm asking these people to do it, and some of them live all over the world in a lot colder locations than the UK, even though it has been absolutely Baltic through most of Jan. So if they're able to do it, then I definitely should be. So
see, I've never been one to take up on the cold showers, but I live in a house of 6, so every now and again all the hot water's done and then you have to have a cold shower by default.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is not ideal, especially when you want to get in and have a nice hot shower and get surprised by freezing cold. Doesn't last very long, put it that way.
That's not great. I honestly, I could not stand under cold water before I started doing this. Like, no chance. I wasn't able to do it, and now it's not easy. Like, it's still, in the morning I still have to convince myself to do it, but once you're in there, it's nowhere near as bad. And I noticed it with other things as well, like getting in the sea, or just water. I went to South Africa last year and we were up a mountain and went in a waterfall pool, and that was absolutely freezing, and everyone was dying, and I was like, oh, you know what, this is pretty decent. I don't mind it.
It's not too bad.
So that's pretty nice as well.
So, have you got any other sort of self-improvement methods that you practice at the moment other than the cold showers?
So I'm quite big on a morning routine, in the sense of I have a few things which I like to do, and I'll preface all of this stuff with, recently I'm learning and developing the ability to not need to do these things in order to operate. I think there was definitely a period where I thought to myself, if I haven't done these things, I almost became superstitious. I was like, if I haven't done these things, I won't be able to perform today. And that then becomes, that doesn't serve you. Having a morning routine then becomes a hindrance, not a help. Because if you can't do it perfectly, which you undoubtedly won't be able to do all the time, it stops you from, pushing yourself during the day, which is stupid, and the same for an evening routine. So just as a bit of context. But yeah, so at the minute, my morning routine is the cold shower, meditate, and habit track. So I have a few habits that I like to do every day. Meditation is one of them. Exercising is another. Planning my day, the next day is another one. That's quite important for me. Reading. What else we got? Meditate, read, exercise. Sleep as well. So getting 7 hours sleep. So those are kind of my go-to. Plus, journaling as well is probably a really valuable one, which I use. It's not something that it's not something where I've thought in the moment, oh, I'm so glad I'm doing this. I can tell this.
Yeah, like the affirmations.
Yeah, it's not something. I used to do affirmations actually all the time. And at the time when I did it most is when I saw my biggest growth on social media actually.
Oh, really?
So I can't tell you that was why, but it was something I was doing at that time, and the growth I saw in social media was something I didn't really believe was possible. But yeah, the journaling itself, I couldn't point to you and say, oh, there's a timed light that goes up. I couldn't point to you oh, this is the benefit that it has. But at the end of every year, I like to do a review of the year, and part of that is just reading through my journal. And I try and do it every day, but undoubtedly there are days when I don't. And it's just really nice to see that journey you've been on, because a year is such a long time that you forget so much of what's happened. And it's really cool to see, like, in this great period, this is how I was feeling, or it just reminds you of that win. Or in a challenging period where things aren't going your way, you have like an insight into how you're thinking about that problem. And then the end of the year comes and you look back on it, and you might find actually your perspective has totally changed. And that says to you, I have actually developed as an individual. And I find that really, really valuable. So that would be something which I would encourage people to get involved with, for sure.
I think we have pretty similar sort of, not almost daily routines. I don't do the cold showers and I don't tend to meditate, but I am one for planning my week out. Like, I go straight into my calendar on like a Saturday or Sunday, plan my whole next week out. I know what I'm going to be training on which days. I know what I've got on to sort of get done. I'll put in like editing time sometimes if I've got something that needs to go out. I do try and read. I haven't read for a little bit, but that's mainly because I just end up sitting on my Mac editing videos until I go to bed. Another one that I invested on quite heavily last year was sleep. What I was finding, I've never really been that great of a sleeper, and what I was finding that I'd wake up multiple times throughout the night just quite hot. So what I've done, I saw an advert, actually, it was on Instagram. It's called an Oola. So basically it is a water-cooled mattress topper.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a mattress topper with like a load of piping through, and then there's this box outside the bed which pumps water into the bed to keep the temperature at whatever you set it at. So it can be between like 12 and 45 degrees. So what I did was set it, it's around 20 degrees, depending on how cold it is outside as well. Sometimes I knock it up a little bit higher, but it'll basically keep my body temperature at the same all night long. And my sleep has been the best it has ever been for 26 years.
No way. That's cool. That's really cool.
Honestly. I mean, it was a little bit of an investment. I got it on a sale as well. It was like 400 quid.
Shit.
But it is hands down the best 400 quid I've ever spent.
Yeah.
Because my sleep used to be horrendous. Especially before COVID, when I was in the office 5 times a week. I'd be getting up at like 5:45 every day, do a stint in the office, then try and train after it, heavily rely on pre-workout. And then you just like conk out and then try and have to do it every single day. So it's something that I invested in. And they gave a 30-day free trial as well. So like, if I didn't like it, I could have sent it back.
Are they sponsoring?
After about a week.
Are they sponsoring the podcast, by the way? You're giving a great review here.
They're not, but I might have to send them this video and just say, right.
He's telling
rates.
everyone about the 30-day free trial and everything. Love it.
Oh, well, no, that was the thing for me, because I was like, obviously it was quite a lot of money to fork out on something that might not be worth it. And after about a week, I was like, it's staying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's part of my daily routine in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Sleep is
have a suitable sleeping environment.
Yeah. Sleep is like, if you like listed out the benefits of having better sleep, like if there was a pill you could take to give you those things, like it would be the biggest thing in the world. So it's almost like a superpower. Like, I know I've had periods where I'm really disciplined, and I conk out so much. Like, I have no trouble sleeping whatsoever. It's a really rare occasion if I do. But in terms of like the amount of time, like getting into bed and having enough time in bed and resting, I've had periods where I'm really good at that. And like my productivity levels, my concentration levels are so much higher. And then now at the minute, I'm like, had a good couple weeks at the start of the year, but since then, like my nighttime routine has not been as consistent, and so that means I end up going to bed later. And I'm really good at getting up in the morning, so regardless of how much sleep I've had, I'll get up. Prime example is last night. I think I fell asleep at about 2:30 and was up at 6.
That's far from ideal.
Yeah, that is very rare that happens, but I've got a few things coming up, and from a work perspective that I'm quite excited about. So sometimes it's just a bit hard to switch off. But sleep 100% is such a big one.
I remember watching a podcast, and it was of this, I think it was like a CrossFit world champion or something like that. I think he's the most decorated CrossFitter. I'm not really into that scene.
Matt Fraser.
He was, I think that might have been the guy. And he said if you got the benefits from sleep and it was sold as a drug, it'd be illegal because of the benefits. Like you say, like the difference that a decent couple of nights sleep on the run makes to your productivity, concentration, memory. It helps in so many aspects, even if it's like just getting to the gym. If you're a person that struggles getting to the gym, the more tired you are, the less likely you are to actually go. It plays into energy levels, all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, no, it's a huge one.
Thank you very much for watching this clip of the podcast. If you'd like to see the full episode, click here. If you're new, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed it, please drop it a like below. Thank you very much.